It's time for the MCTS experience with Mr. Orr
and Mr. Nash.
Discover your passion
And unlock your future.
Welcome, one and all, to another exciting episode of the MCTS Experience. We are very, very happy to be here. With me, of course, as always, is my partner in crime, Mr. David Nash.
Hey-oh!
Happy Women's Month.
It is an amazing. I got father of two daughters, very excited. And you're going to see incredible content on this episode. And I'm going to stop right there.
Big stuff, women in the trades. Yes, that's it. But let's not go any further before we say hi to our good friend and producer extraordinaire, Nick MacGyver Sikowski.
Hello.
There he is on footage, video footage. Very nice. Thanks, Mr. S. So let's get started. Couple quick announcements before we get underway into this meaty episode. We're going to keep the intro quick.
Yep.
Go ahead. What's coming up?
We're full Skills USA season, which is the Olympics, if you would, when you're a student in a CTE program where you get to compete in white-collar, blue-collar, entrepreneurial. 4 weekends in a row. We've already had two. We got two more with the culmination of an awards ceremony on April 12th. And here's how it works. Parents, caregivers, moms, dads, people that are passionate about your sons or daughter, if they're going to receive a medal, bronze, silver, or gold, we will know if they're top three. We do not know what place they finished in.
Okay.
But if a student competed in Skills USA, April 12th, Morris Knowles High School, you're going to get a letter if your son or daughter received information that they medaled. So plan on being there for that awards ceremony. It's midday on a Saturday.
If we tell you that they're getting a medal, they're walking up on that podium. So please come and support.
Yeah, absolutely. And that the parents come up with the family. Heck, maybe go out to Applebee's for a cheeseburger afterwards.
I'll be there. I love me some cheeseburgers.
Or what do you got?
What else? Let's see. Our own spring break is April 18th to the 25th. Don't come to school that day. What else is happening in April? I know there's another.
It's actually event. The day before spring break starts. That Thursday night is our prom at Mercer Oaks.
Yes.
And the Big Ragu still has tickets. That's what we affectionately call our biology teacher, Mr. Joe Ragusa.
Joe Ragusa, he's a hero, and we love him.
And we call him the Big Ragu from Laverne and Shirley. Google it. It'll help you out. Go ahead.
Also, you can also go to our website for those tickets, mcts.edu.
Prom is really fun.
We have a good time. Check out all of our social media platforms from like last year, the year before.
Yeah.
The students get up and dance. They're not just sitting there
hollering,
drinking the punch and eating the chicken.
They're not looking at their phones.
No,
they're not looking
at
their
phones.
They're
going buck wild.
Yep, they're getting it.
Last but not least, May 1st is the National Honor Society inductee ceremony. More information about that will come via email.
That'll be really quick after spring break. Like
very soon. We're going to get back, and then we're just going to go right there.
Boom.
I'm actually going to sleep over at the Kelsey Theater where it happens, so I'm ready.
We're just got a sleeping bag. It's like, sir, you can't be here.
I'm just kidding. We have a great episode coming up with student interviews and a superstar rock star featured guest. So stay with us. We'll be right back after this. The welding program follows the American Welding Society program guidelines and offers students many career pathways such as metal fabrication, pipe welding, industrial maintenance, weld inspector, and more. The program involves both hands-on and theory lessons and helps build the students' knowledge base in math measurements, welding processes, and design, while covering safety, welding equipment, MIG and TIG welding, and flame cutting. In addition to OSHA certifications, students will test and apply to become an AWS certified welder. Folks, I'm very, very pleased to welcome to the podcast Cece Danley of Nottingham High School. Hi, Cece.
Hi.
How you doing?
I'm good.
Okay. All right.
We're excited to have you. Orf, where are we?
We are so I want to set the scene here. We're not in the welding shop because the amount of noise and flames and cool smells coming out of there would scare a mere mortal.
But not Cece.
It doesn't scare somebody like Cece.
Not at all.
So it's a little quieter in here, so we took the interview. Hopefully you can see
the action's going on.
Sparks flying behind us.
It's a piece of cake.
Absolutely. So you live in Hamilton. Tell us just a little bit about yourself, Cece.
Well, I go to Nottingham High School.
Okay.
And I do training hours after school. I go to work. I help my mom out.
And what does your mom do?
She grooms dogs and cats.
What's the name of the business? Give her a shout out.
Polish Pets Grooming.
Oh,
Polish Pets
there we
Grooming.
go.
Great.
How cool is that? So that's what's going on after school.
Mm-hmm.
And what magnetized you to come here? Because this is neat. What's going on here?
He came to my high school, and there was a meeting in the auditorium about the program and about the school, and I thought it was really cool because it's free. I don't have to pay for it.
No
and I
brainer.
can get a lot of skills here
Yes.
that'll help me get a job that I want and make a good living.
And
It's awesome.
What made you? I'm sorry to interrupt. What made you choose the welding program specifically? What attracted you to it?
There's a lot of hands-on action here that I really enjoy,
okay.
and I think it's a big skill that I could use that can help me get comfortable in life.
1,000%, and a little bit of the green too. To make the cheddar.
And what's so cool is the fact that we're celebrating Women's Month. That's why we're coming around. We're talking to everybody. Is what's known, and I'm sure Mr. Schools taught you this. Women intrinsically are better welders than men. Seriously, your connection between the mind, which you're very intelligent if you can do this. That's the key. Everybody says, "Oh, I'm good with my hands," and you definitely are. But the mind is very powerful to guide the hands, and that's very important for parents to hear in that concept, because the amount of intelligence it takes to do any one of these trades is off the charts, and a lot of people mistake that, and you don't, and you didn't. So the reality is Mr. Schools shared with us that you're a very gifted welder and a very gifted apprentice, and there's probably going to be big things coming. So this is really cool. I love it.
Cece, we're lucky to have you as part of the MCTS family. I thank you for taking the time to join us.
You're welcome.
Cece Danley, ladies and gentlemen, future welder and possible dog groomer as well.
Carpentry.
Students use hand and power tools and learn the technical knowledge of framing, foundations, blueprint reading, and finish carpentry. They also earn their OSHA certification and possible credits from Mercer County Community College and Thomas Edison University through the Northeast Carpenters Apprenticeship Fund. Folks, we are very, very pleased to have with us Katie Vasquez Rojas from Princeton High School. Welcome, Katie.
Hello, how are you doing?
We're doing great.
We're doing awesome, and we're excited to see you as well as our fans and our watchers and viewers.
Part of the reason we're talking to you today, Katie, is because March is Women's Month, and we want to focus on women in trades, and you are very much that.
Yes, absolutely. Checked all the boxes.
Oh, dude, I love it. I love it.
I saw you over there working on it looked like a crew with a couple of other workers.
Yes.
Tell me what got you started on this? What got you interested in carpentry? Have you always been interested in it? You got family in the business? Tell me.
Yeah, I always grew up around my family building. I would watch them. I would go on job sites with them to see them on roofing and landscaping as well. And honestly, building has always been something that I've always loved. From little things to like Legos or, STEM robotics, things like that. And it just grew up into, working with wood and all that.
And when did you first hear about our school? What drew you? What magnetized you to come to Mercer County Technical Schools?
I heard some from middle school. I have older siblings that also kind of attended Mercer County's, programs.
Yeah, legacy family here, or legacy family. We love it. Beauty. So it was a culmination of touch points and things that you've seen and heard, and whether it was family members or maybe, do you remember Mr. Orff coming into your 10th grade class?
Yeah, I do, actually. I do. Couldn't forget.
Which programs were your siblings in?
My sister, she did cosmetology.
Yes. Nice.
Yes. And my brother, he did mechanic, I believe.
Auto mechanics.
I love it.
Yes.
He probably knows Mr. Nash. You can tell him that tonight when you go home. That's very nice.
Absolutely.
Yeah, tell him you saw the great Mr. Nash. So, Katie, we're thrilled to have you in the program. We're thrilled to have you part of the MCTS family. Do you have any ideas of what pathways you want to take after you graduate? You're only a junior. You got time to figure it out.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I want to work with a company. I love building. Anything building is fun.
Well, senior year, Mr. Gent and you were definitely going to be working with Mr. Bird, probably combing and finding some places this summer in the Princeton region where you could work 100%.
Oh, yeah.
As well as next year, our school to work program for career learning, not just a job, career learning. And that's what you're capable of doing, that and being a part of that program. So
absolutely.
that goes for every student that comes here. Be your better, solid attendance, and a passion. And that unlocks the safe to get to that career position. So you're definitely on target for that, and it's amazing.
Anything is possible with passion, absolutely.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Write that down.
Anything's possible with
That's
passion.
the new catchphrase. I love it.
It's true. That's what drives it. That's the fuel to the fire. Absolutely. Well done.
All right. Katie, thanks for being with us. Thanks
you.
for joining us. You got a great future. We appreciate you very much.
Thank you so much.
Katie Vasquez Rojas, ladies and gentlemen.
Electrician.
Students learn to maintain and repair electrical systems in residential and commercial buildings, wiring, power transmission, plus safety and inspection techniques. Students also gain college credit from Mercer County Community College along with their OSHA certification. Ladies and gentlemen, please meet Trenton Central High School junior, Talia Maldonado. How are you, Talia?
Hi, I'm good.
Boy, look at that smile, Orf. That's a young lady that is enjoying this environment. Is it a thrill to be here at the electrical construction program?
Yeah.
It's every day is awesome.
Yeah.
What's your favorite part?
I think my favorite part is seeing my projects work. Like after spending so long on them, I get to finally watch all of the work that I've done pay off.
You turn the switch, you energize the circuit,
Yeah.
and things happen, which is powerful.
Mr. Hayner's told us a lot of great things about you, and despite the fact that you might be height challenged, you're a bit of a boss in this class.
Yeah,
from what
you
I
run the
understand.
show. We hear you're the basic foreman.
Oh.
That's the sign of a true leader. Not even knowing she's managing the situation. Well done.
So tell us a little bit about you and your background. Do you have family in the trades? We're focusing this month on women in trades. We want to know how you came to be in this program, what got you interested in electrical. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, speaking from my family, I have 3 siblings. I'm the oldest, but I have an older cousin that I see as my sister.
Okay.
And I'm the first girl in my family that's going into the trades.
Oh my gosh.
So,
Breaking the glass ceiling, as we say. Breaking it.
I have a lot of guy family members that are in the trades and stuff like that. Like my dad does landscaping, stuff like that.
Love it.
But I specifically wanted to do electrical because I've loved learning hands-on and things like that. And then the interest for electrical specifically came from when somebody showed me how to change an outlet. And little did I know, here I would be years later.
That's fantastic.
This is what makes this podcast and this ability to connect with students so wonderful, because that's your story and that's unique to you. And somebody watching this is going to hear that and be like, hey, I think I can do that too. And that really is what you're helping someone do, in addition to yourself, which is wonderful. So it's a really an awesome story. What else do you do outside of being the world's greatest electrician apprentice in the formulation of that?
And I might add, a very good student, from what I understand.
But yeah, you're pretty cerebral, academically proficient. Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So what else? Tell us outside of school, outside of electrical. What do you do?
Well, I was tech in my school's musical production.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
That just finished.
Running
and
the board, being up in the front, running the lights up top, all that good
No,
stuff.
I was the person moving all the props and stuff.
Very nice. Backstage, behind the scenes,
but making it happen.
And you're already wearing black when you do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very nice, very nice. Dual purpose uniform, love it. What else do you do?
I also do choir.
Awesome. For Trenton Central High School or outside of school?
No, for Trenton.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Oh my goodness!
Unbelievable!
That's wonderful.
You're
Awesome.
you're a multifaceted, multi-talented individual.
Thank you.
Awesome. Do you have any plans to work in the trade this summer? Have you and Mr. Hayner been talking about obtaining a career-based internship this summer? Because that's a lot of students at MCTS do that. The high flyers, it's a Gent term, Mr. Gent, you know Mr. Gent.
Yeah.
High flyers often obtain career-based internships in the summer because they're so sought after. Do you have any desire to do that?
I think I'm going to try for next year because I want to go out on CIE.
Oh, absolutely. Well, there you go.
That's
there
the
you
name
go.
of the game.
Well, I can tell right now. I'm going to do the old Johnny Crow. I can foresee that happening. I put the envelope to my head metaphorically there. So awesome, home run. Well, congratulations, unbelievable.
Yeah. This is great. Thank you so much for joining us. We're thrilled to have you as part of the MCTS family, Talia. We wish you all the best. Lots of luck.
Thank you. Thank you.
Talia Maldonado, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.
Automotive Mechanics Technology.
The AutoTech program gives students the skills to repair, service, and maintain all types of automobiles. It includes instruction in brake systems, electrical systems, engine performance, engine repair, and much more. We are certified by NATEF, the National Automotive Technicians Education Foundation. All students in the program have the opportunity to earn industry credentials such as OSHA and ASC, Automotive Service Excellence, plus articulated credits from Mercer County Community College's AutoTech program.
Welcome back, folks. We are thrilled to have with us Cyndie Williams. Cyndie is the Executive Director of the Carpenter Contractor Trust, and this is what we call in the industry a good get. Welcome, Cyndie. Thank you.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Really appreciate you being with us. So, just for our audience and listeners and viewers who aren't in the know, just real quick, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sure. So I am currently the executive director of the Carpenter Contractor Trust, as you mentioned. That is a labor management trust for the Carpenters Union.
Okay.
And it's a mouthful. Essentially, how you understand that is there's the carpenter member who's unionized. Mm-hmm. There's leadership in the union. There's training that happens through apprenticeship. And the contractor base. Did I say that?
No.
Yeah.
Four-legged stool.
Okay.
So between the contractor, the member, union leadership, and training,
Okay.
that system or ecosystem works together. So I work to speak on behalf of all of them and kind of to make sure that communications happen within, and also to get out there to the public and talk about the great work of union crafts, skilled trades, etc.
Yes, excellent. I have George Gent to thank for bringing you in here. That was the connection. Nice work, George.
Well, thanks a lot, Mick. And thank you, Cyndie, for taking the time out of your busy schedule to join us on this podcast. And I just wanted to do a shout out. You did a great job hosting the Skills USA Carpenters competition, which is amazing. 2 stories of young men and women competing at a state level. Mick, it was amazing, and it was a pleasure just seeing your facility and the state of the art, and meeting your membership and how they conduct business and to execute that skills competition.
Very good. And to that point, Skills USA had been going on in our training facility for a few years prior to that. During COVID, there was a little bit of a bumpy road.
Yep.
But when I came onto the trust, I saw that it was incredibly important to have the students not only in the building, but to bring in our council representatives to see them working, right? To see the best talent that's coming out in the state of New Jersey. So I made it a little bit bigger in the reference that we started inviting contractors. We started inviting, some of our leadership for the union that's going to be considering them for hire one day. So,
And then you even had families, the parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles.
Oh, sure.
Talk about just tearing down the wall of just a veil brought down to understand. And that facility, if you haven't been to that facility, it's up off 440. People, you go take a cruise or want to go back way to New York or whatever. You guys are right there, right in the central part of the state. The building it's a Taj Mahal. It's unreal for training.
For sure.
Cyndie, you also, when you mentioned that the 4 legs of that stool, you're doing that kind of stuff all over the state, even the country, really.
Sure.
Building those relationships, making those connections for different things. We ourselves have a relationship with Thomas Edison and the Northeast Carpenters Apprenticeship Fund. So our students are getting some credits.
Sure.
But they're also getting union time.
That's great. That's great. And Career Connections through that curriculum is the way to do that.
That's what it's called, Career Connections.
Career Connections. Yeah.
So go ahead.
So interestingly, we talked earlier about my history in training, and back when I was a Job Corps instructor in Edison many years ago, the Career Connections curriculum was just coming out. And believe it or not, if you look at a younger face of me, I'm in the books. I was out for training in Las Vegas at our hub for training.
Oh, wow.
And they said, "Hey, you look young. Come on over." And I was doing a training.
That's so cool.
Fork truck at the time and instructor training. And so now I'm in the curriculum book. But anyway, it's designed to allow high schoolers to have college credits. They can get up to 16 by the end of their term.
Yes.
And come into apprenticeship already with some in the books, right? And so allowing them college credits is enticing to parents as well as the student. It should be valued. Their time in vocational school should be valued.
It's just shattering that preconceived notion. We joke a lot. We say CTE school used to be called VOTEC, jean jackets and mullets. If you're not good at thinking, go there. You're good with your hands. Well,
Absolutely.
You're echoing. Well, this thing up here underneath the skull's got to be pretty sharp in order to coordinate. And that passion that resonates. Take everyone through your story. We were talking off camera. Sure. How'd you get started?
Yeah,
because it
Yeah.
is so good. If you're a parent, you want to hear this story.
And go all the way back. Go all the way back.
Deep.
I can go all the way back. And then
dive.
I'll dig into just how skillful and smart people have to be in order to make it in this industry. I'll kind of finish there. But
Absolutely.
for me, I had mentioned, and this is part of my story, that I was a kid that was able to find this in a weird way. I was in private school, had no vocational school because they don't value
Like a prep
vocational
school. When you say private school,
it
like a
was
prep
Catholic school.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Catholic school, and regardless, I didn't have anyone in the family that was
No
in the
tradespeople in the
trades.
family.
No, everybody
Nobody.
was white collar.
Your dad wasn't a carpenter. Your mother wasn't a carpenter.
Nobody,
None of that.
No one. Cousins, uncles, no one. No one. I knew no one.
That's a desert.
Right. Exactly.
Of trying to find opportunity information.
And honestly, I had that square peg in a round hole feel. I enjoyed my experience. I knew the level of academics at where I was important, but I didn't feel the pathway.
That connection.
I didn't understand where the pathway was going. And my parents had 5 children, and we made a mess of the house. By the time I was the last of 5. So by the time I came through, we just needed a little refresh at the home. And my sister and I had the grand plan, as I mentioned earlier prior to recording, that we wanted to fix the house up for mom and dad for all the years that they gave to us.
That is so cool.
Right?
Very nice.
So
Awesome.
we had no idea what we were doing. We were painting, wallpapering, etc.
Pre-YouTube,
It
pre-internet.
was sloppy. It was messy. There was no YouTube. There was no video to look at to say, what do we do here? I literally had no tools. My father didn't, he was a duct tape guy.
wild.
If he needed a fix, it was duct tape.
Your dad worked in the city, white collar, corporate.
White collar, couldn't use a screw gun to save his life, right?
Now I know the answer to this question, but what was your version? I'm using air quotes. What was your version of YouTube that you would watch?
Yes.
What would you watch?
Okay, so PBS. I would come home from school and watch This Old House, and that's really honestly what
That was the driving force as when you there's multiple factors here, but that was like your source.
Yep.
That was
Bob
your wellspring.
Vila was my man. He was the
Vila.
only
That is
man
so
at the time.
wild.
And there was another show called Home Time. Those were the only 2. Now you can get a show every 5 seconds on HGTV, YouTube, etc. At the time, it was that.
So what was your first professional job? So you played home fixer-upper.
Yep.
And that led to what?
Yep.
What's
so
next?
my first job was when I was 17, painting condominiums because it was close enough to a job site of carpentry, which I knew nothing about. But the gentlemen that were doing the siding it was cedar shake siding, clapboard siding.
Yeah.
On the community, it was in Little Silver, affluent community.
Yeah.
We're doing all of the sawing, installation. That's what I wanted to do. So I would kind of hang out and watch them, and they would go back to the painting, and I'd want to put the brush down and do what they were doing.
So painting
that
is
was
like the
driving
oil
force.
changes of the car world. Like,
Exactly.
That's your entry.
Yeah.
But then you're over there watching the master, the journeyman, the people that are really doing the more technically.
Sure.
And painting's technical, as we all know.
It was cool. Watching them work was really something that triggered a drive in me. And at the time, I just wanted to learn more about it. And again, I reached out to a vocational school. It was Monmouth County Vocational School at the time.
Shout out to our brother.
And they said, hey, why don't you try and get in the union? They'll put you through school for free.
And you were like, what?
And I didn't even know what a union was. So I went. I'm
not laughing at you. I'm laughing
true.
with you.
It's absolutely true. I had
how many
no-
kids listen to this? How many parents listen to this? and
Not
go,
one
I have
example.
no clue what the union's about. I think I know about it. And what's great is
exactly.
you're going to take us through even more of a story of how this all transpired.
Yeah, so I called on a blind tip. I went on an interview in Red Bank at the Red Bank Hall and passed the interview. They accepted me into the apprenticeship. I had no idea what an apprenticeship was. Like, literally, I was just...
And what was there,
driven
like
to
150
try.
women? There's about 150, 250 women out of thousands?
No, 3 out of 1,000.
Oh,
yeah.
man.
So
Wow.
I was
Trailblazer.
I was the third. I was the third.
That is so
Yeah.
wild.
So I mean, it just... I was that kid that said, okay, this is gonna turn into something, and it'll turn into something else. But honestly, I just knew that I gravitated towards wanting to learn that.
And you felt good. You felt alive. You felt
Sure.
awakened when you were on the site.
A little bit of what am I doing? 'Cause I got on my first job site. It was concrete, and there was a guy there in a motorcycle helmet at the time. Yelling numbers at somebody, just like throwing 2x4s to,
Were you guys building
somebody in the hole,
You were
the
building
language
forms?
they learned, they spoke together was one I had no idea. Right? So I
Whole
was a
new
deer in
vocabulary,
headlights.
whole
I was
new-
a deer in headlights, but I was willing to take the risk. And, my first day on the job, my shop steward looked at me and said, "You're going to be okay." And, the day that I stop learning is the day that I need to retire. And so he took that extra step, that extra time to coach, to counsel, to
We call
mentor.
that wolf pack, wolf cub. You were the cub.
Exactly.
The pack surrounded you because they
Yep.
saw. I'm asking you. They saw your passion.
100%.
They saw your intention. You weren't some person.
They saw
that
the
showed up.
scared look in my eyes.
It's so good.
Yeah.
It's
That was
so good.
instead of a baptism of fire, it was a baptism of concrete.
Yes.
Exactly. I love it. I love it.
Yeah. So that was day one on a concrete high rise.
And here you are,
senior community.
how many years later, and you never forget that because I can
Never.
see how you're describing it. It's searing in your mind in a great way, in a good way, and that's what we want.
Palms
parents.
could sweat just thinking about it right now.
Oh my God!
Because it really is. It's a totally different world. Exactly. Yeah.
George and I
And
both
he
work
was-
construction.
Yeah.
We both know what it's like.
Oh boy.
And they can't. And those
Yeah, the
guys, they'll
stories.
go to the wall for any apprentice that. And moms and dads, if you're scared about your son or daughter going to a job site, these guys will surround and support. Sure. When I say guys, I'm talking everybody on that job site that's passionate about the career. I've seen that through and through, and that's what George and I see when we place students on a high school level. And it's a family, it's a brother and sisterhood all the way, union or non-union. But union, there is a hey. This is our job. That we hold the line up here. And I grew up. My father's a union electrician.
Great.
George is in a union. There is
It's a different. It's a different level. It's a family. It's literally a brotherhood or sisterhood.
Absolutely.
And I had no idea what I was stepping into, but you had mentioned before. You see the passion. The passion is because I never knew the kind of organization that I was coming into or stepping into. Wow. And honestly, it was an amazing start, finish, but there, some bumps along the way. But,
Yeah, it wasn't all puppy dogs and rainbows. Yeah,
it's a really difficult career because it's demanding. You have to be the best. You have to be fully invested. You
gotta
have to
want
be
it.
physical.
Yeah.
Especially a woman in the industry.
Yeah.
I mean, you have people on the job telling you, "What are you doing here? Go over there." This was almost 30 years ago.
Have you seen that?
It's totally different now. But
Okay, so let's and be real too. There's still people that are still cave people.
Yeah.
But
and those,
have you seen that diminish over the years?
The industry is changing, absolutely. And people in the industry have embraced the idea that diversity helps everyone, right? So trying to create an environment where more voices, more expression makes a better job site.
Yes,
right.
absolutely.
So, I mean, I'm jumping ahead to today, but really like going back to my journey was getting into apprenticeship, working on job sites. I was able to learn and grow through apprenticeship, really just be able to learn through the trades, but also learn through college. I was going to community college at the time, still kind of like up in the air as to what I needed, but I knew education from my private school background was really important. Then I also knew this level and caliber of learning for construction is high level. Union pay scale is high for a reason. You're either moving forward or you're sitting on the bench and waiting for an opportunity. So you have to work hard. You have to be fast.
And you integrate with the other trades too. It's not like it's just, hey, we're the carpenters and this is what we do.
Sure.
You're in with the electricians, the plumbers, the tin knockers,
all trades.
Oh, everybody, iron workers, the laborers. Everybody, it's like a complex stew that's producing a beautiful product. And until you really get on that job site and experience that, it's wild. But like you said, you push all your chips at the center table, meaning a person, any person listening. If your son or daughter pushes all their chips in and they love it and they're passionate, the trade will take care of them.
Absolutely.
And you've seen that.
And the unionized trades, I'll say, because there's many opportunities that are out there, but we have healthcare, we have benefits, we have annuity, dignity in retirement, all of those things that make almost a journeyman or a journeywoman in this trade will make about $100 an hour. So think about that.
All right,
and I used to tell my students, because I work for Job Corps as an instructor, pulling out of your pocket $100 an hour and putting it in your hand, what do you expect? You're making almost $800 a day.
Yes.
What do you think that person is expect as far as productivity
Performance,
at the end of the day? Like what are you bringing to the table that you can command almost $800 an hour? And so the level of skill and productivity has to be there on the mark. They have the time to learn it through apprenticeship, but by the end of that time, they have to be ready to go.
It's showtime.
It's showtime.
So, and the neat thing about it is there's so much, it's not just making studding out buildings. Like you guys do metal work, you do trim work, you do furniture, cabinets. Like it's almost like pulling a tree out of the ground and looking at the root system.
Sure.
It's not just like I work with wood and swing a hammer if I'm a carpenter, because that's what people think.
Yeah, or laying carpet. People think we lay carpet.
Yes.
Close to carpentry. Carpet.
I never heard that. I love you telling me that because I never heard that.
Yeah,
It's so cool.
I mean, honestly, our trade is very diverse. We have floor laying, which is a whole division in itself. If you're a floor layer, that's all you do. We have millwright, which is working with machinery and you know it's high complex, but it's measurement and tools. I always say the beltway that your luggage comes on at the airport. The people that are fixing that machine are millwrights.
Wow. Okay.
So that's a good visual.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
That's a totally different trade, but it's under our umbrella for the carpenters. Millwork, general carpentry, interior systems. Like there's so many different facets of carpentry that you can go into it for.
I love it.
And career-wise, speaking of career,
Yep.
so you went from being an apprentice, 20 plus years in the union, your time at Job Corps, but now talk about your position now and what you're trying to do now, your time with what you're doing with Brookdale, all of that.
Sure. So I mean, speeding through, I taught pre-apprenticeship. I then went on to oversee programs for Job Corps on the Eastern Seaboard through Job Corps, just with the instructors, making sure their curriculum and training was up to snuff, that their students had an opportunity to come into apprenticeship because that was a big part of my workforce development passion.
Sure.
And then on to become a business agent, which is somebody that comes to check job sites to make sure that everybody is flowing properly, that everyone has what they need, including the contractor base, working with them.
Both sides
to now
management
working on the labor management side, which is, again, cohesive relationships, plugging into workforce development in the community to make sure that the ecosystem collectively makes sense for everyone, right?
Love it.
So
a win-win-win, as they say.
A win for counties, a win for vocational schools, a win for community colleges. I didn't go into my career as an individual, but I had mentioned that I went to county college. I just had an article come out last week for Brookdale, and it mentioned that I stumbled and fell. I was still a carpenter by trade, but I valued education and needed to have that platform. So community college, Brookdale was that step for me.
There you go. So you could do classes at night.
I wasn't sure. Did I want to be a cop? Did I want to be a carpenter? All of those, those areas of struggle that someone in their teens goes through. I went through.
Yeah.
Even late teens, early 20s.
I still, didn't. Is this the right path? Is this the right fit? I wound up loving my union so much that I said I want to learn more, and went on to get a labor studies and bachelor's degree at Rutgers University in labor studies. Nice. And so, I went to Guatemala on union organizing campaign. It was like the coolest thing ever. This wild ride that
My gosh.
But to now, I see the holistic picture as super integral and important when I see all the different sides, between the level of training that happens on the county, on the union side, to the county's needs and the plug to the community, because we want these folks that are coming through this vocational school here in Mercer to be able to matriculate on the job sites that are important here in the county.
And Paulie, shout out to Paulie.
Shout out to Paul Bellardo. He
makes it
such a good friend of mine.
He's the real deal.
He's the real deal.
You and I met in a Panera during COVID with masks on.
Exactly.
Because we're like, we cannot stop the connection. Paul, and
absolutely.
Meaning that's
really what it comes down to is your students need to have an opportunity to be placed. And county projects and local community projects are the way.
And to credit the union, and not only Paulie, but all the 855, 825, 269, those are electrical heavy equipment operators. They all have turned the mirror back on themselves, because, George, you and I both know for many years, and you'll recall this, it was, hey, once the kid graduates and he's 18 and he or she is out of high school for 6 months, and Jet and I are like, you're not that every kid needs to go to the union, but that's when they fall off the Richter scale and we don't know where they go.
Sure.
We're not going to be able to get them for you guys. So, and we say get them, meaning allow the opportunity to occur. And again, not every kid that goes to Mercer County Technical Schools is designed for a union. There's a horse for every stable, and that's how Jet and I work with our instructional staff. So the unions have done a phenomenal job at figuring out, all right, we're not going to cross the line between apprentice and journeyman and someone on the bench. And at the same time, we're going to allow equitable opportunity for employment on high school levels. So moms and dads, if you're listening to this and be like, well, my kid can't get a job with a union company because they're not old enough or they don't meet the criteria, the union's allowing this to happen. And it's a great positive thing that back in the 80s, 90s, even early 2000s did not happen. So
it's super important. to hold the ladder for somebody to coming out behind you, right?
Yes.
But I think the community component and what I strive for in the job that I do now is making sure that community is aware that they're fully capable of creating language under project labor agreements for their work projects in their areas to design a component that says we're going to hire locally here. We're going to have a certain carve out of individuals in the county that are going to be able to work on this project.
Brilliant.
It gives them the ability to say, we're going to take care of our community, right? So they have that now connection to the job locally. They can get there. They have the transportation to do so because it's a local opportunity, and then they get their feet wet. And
Yeah, and
they're
they dip
able
their
to
toes.
work in their own community, which
They
is
go in the low
fantastic.
end of the pool, see
Yep.
if they like it.
Yep.
It's excellent.
Cyndie, we are blessed to have you. I cannot thank you enough for coming on. As we're closing out Women's Month, and the focus, of course, is women in the trades.
Sure.
Do you have a message you'd like to deliver to that student who's thinking about it, whether it's a female student or any student? But is there something that you could say, reflecting on your own career, as a message to a young female student considering something in the trades or otherwise?
Yeah. So I had no examples when I was this age in high school to draw from. And if anything, I want to get my message out there to anyone who wants to do this for a living, that it's certainly a viable career. I've been blessed to do the many things that I've done in the last 20 plus, almost 30 now years. But I really just want to say that there's a place for you if you want to work hard, regardless of who you are and how you represent. You have a place as long as you can work hard and say, this is where I want to hang my hat for my career, and I'm going to do this, and apply yourself and show up every day on time. That's really the requirement, is to be able to show up and make it and say, I will commit to this, but also to have the ability to want to learn the trades, knowing that it's hard work, it's busy work, it's sometimes it's mud, it's rain, it's the dirty work, right? But it's so rewarding, and for somebody who wants to use their hands. And I have a son who's 14 that I can't wait to place him in something similar to what I've done. And it might look a little different, but it's going to be a trade. I can almost guarantee it, because that's just the way his mind works. That there is a place for
that's the
all
part
of
as a
us,
parent, is
right?
being aware
Yep.
that what pathway your son or daughter's gravitating towards or magnetized towards. And here you demonstrate that in your story to tie it all together. So it's powerful.
Yeah. And so, I mean, again, I have to give the credit to just all of the allies, the gentlemen in the industry that are willing to open up doors for women. I go to programs all the time where there's just women that are sitting in a room, 30, 40 of them, listening to what are these opportunities that are out there for them.
Awesome.
And they're happening more and more nowadays. So, programs like yours where you're actually connecting to your students and telling them what's out there for them, after they finish, is incredible.
We thank you for your help with that and for all that you do. Very lucky to have you. Thank you for being here. Cyndie Williams, ladies and gentlemen, our featured guest.
Thank you.
Diesel technology.
Diesel students learn to repair, service, and maintain diesel engines. They work on such equipment as autos, buses, ships, trucks, railroad locomotives, and construction equipment. Students earn certifications in OSHA, entry-level ASC, and credit from Mercer County Community College's Auto Tech program.
Well, Mr. Nash, as always, it's bittersweet at the end of an episode of the MCTS Experience. But this was one for the books.
This is one that you could share with a family member about, hey, my daughter's interested in this. Let's go. Let's make it happen.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
It's amazing.
Wrapping up Women's Month, it was a great month. All kinds of great achievements by our students throughout the month and throughout the year. Let's face it. I got to take a moment to thank our three student guests, Katie, Cece, and Talia, from our construction trades classes. Great job. Thanks for joining us.
Paving the way.
And
paving the way.
Of course, a humongous thank you to Cyndie Williams. Cyndie was just a tremendous guest for us and did a great job.
I think you're going to see more of her around MCTS campus.
We got to get her in for other events and speaking. She's powerful. I'd love to have
her message is so strong.
Cyndie can interact with students and parents and counselors.
Love it
to send that message. Yes. By the way, speaking of Cyndie, let's give her some professional shout outs. You can check out Cyndie's podcast, Labor Lounge. That is available on Google Play, Spotify, iTunes, and anywhere that you.
They even have a Facebook page, Worf.
They have a Facebook page, a Twitter account, a YouTube channel, all of that. Labor Lounge, check it out. Cyndie Williams, rock star guest, rock star person, and rock star trades person. Absolutely. So big stuff coming up next month. We'll save that. I want to also take a moment to thank our producer extraordinaire.
Oh, he's killing it.
Nick MacGyver Sikowski. Thanks, Mr. S.
Yeah, there he is. Big. Yeah,
he's not set up, but he's waving.
He's fine. He's waving.
He's feeling strong. He's doing a muscle pose for us, folks. And of course, my partner in crime, Mr. David Nash.
Well, hey.
Until that next episode, until the May episode, the April episode, don't come to school during spring break, by the way, kids.
I don't think they will, Orf. I don't.
They probably have that marked on their calendars in big red ink, cut out with scissors. No school that day. So we will see all of you next month for the April episode. Until then, this is Mr. Orf inviting you to like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, subscribe to our YouTube channel, LinkedIn, all those different social media platforms. Share this podcast with a friend, like it, and give it a 4-star review, and listen to it or view it on any of those other same platforms that I just mentioned. And now, until our next episode, this is Mr. Orf. On behalf of myself, my partner in crime, Mr. David Nash, and the great Nick MacGyver Sikowski, inviting you to discover your passion
and unlock your future.